Who ordered the Lekki tollgate shooting? This has been the question on the lips of Nigerians ever since the October 20 gruesome Lekki tollgate carnage that saw several #Endsars protesters injured and killed for asking an end to police brutality, extortion and extrajudicial killings. In the typical Nigerian fashion, the Lagos state government and Nigerian army, who many believe are complicit in the crime against humanity, have been shifting and changing statements over what happened on the night of October 20 at the Lekki tollgate. Even worse, the Nigerian government and the cronies launched an ongoing campaign to gaslight Nigerians on their version of events. National media houses who took up the responsibility of reporting the incident using uncensored footage have since been shut down with exorbitant fines and sanctions. Alongside, they have been persecuting as many personalities and celebrities, insisting that there indeed was a carnage perpetrated by the Nigerian security agents and at the order of the government. DJ Switch, Modupe Odele and even Eroms being among. Interestingly, the Nigerian government, which cannot extend its clampdown on justice for the fallen heroes outside its shores, has been exposed shamelessly with staggering evidence from US-based media giants CNN. Exactly 4 weeks and a day after the shootings, CNN finally published their investigative report on the incident based on verified testimonies and meticulously researched evidence. They concluded that the Nigerian army police indeed opened fire on unarmed protesters. Pretty much to the charging of Nigerians, the government yet again tagged CNN report as fake news, causing many to wonder when justice would be served, if it ever would. But certainly, new evidence came to life and the loopholes of the Lekki shooting story are being filled. In light of this today, we will be discussing the Lagos state government and the Nigerian army's entanglement and hideous attempt to bury the truth of the Lekki tollgate massacre. Hello guys, it's T-Code here for African Glitz. Ignoring all threats to the international community by the Nigerian government, international media CNN has reiterated Nigerians' testimonies that the Lagos state government and Nigerian army are complicit in the Lekki tollgate carnage. Noteworthy and to the surprise of many, CNN did not just reiterate the testimonies but did with foolproof evidence. In its investigative report published on November 18, 2020, CNN emphasized that the Nigerian army shot at unarmed protesters using live bullets. It said ballistic experts it consulted confirmed that live bullets and not blank bullets as asserted by the Nigerian army were used on the protesters. Also, establishing facts that there indeed were persons killed at the scene of the incident, the international media giants noted that photos and videos acquired from eyewitnesses were geolocated and verified using timestamps. That's not all. The proactive media house equally tracked the bullets obtained at the crime scene back to Serbia, where the Nigerian government has been purchasing its ammunition since 2005. A celebrity eyewitness, DJ Switch, who ran away from the country over threats against her life and currently seeking asylum in Canada, equally gave an in-depth testimony on the tollgate massacre to the media giant.
Nigeria is a dictatorship with a democratic face, and I think that is primarily to please the international community.
Lagos state government and Nigerian army version. As CNN painted its picture, all fingers point back to the Nigerian government and army, but both parties have been in the habit of changing statements over what happened at the scene even before the publishing of the report. If we recall, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu initially denied knowledge of the carnage and insisted forces against his control perpetrated it, also denying that he ordered the suspicious activities at the toll gate before the carnage, such as the light-out, CCTV camera removal. Sanwo-Olu stated that only 30 people were injured with no fatalities, but following the uproar on social media, he later retracted his statement, saying there was only one fatality. Meanwhile, Amnesty International had reported that over 12 people were killed and many others injured in the carnage. The Nigerian army, on the other hand, denied it was ever at the carnage scene, even though DJ Switch, who was present at the scene, made live footage glaringly showing the soldiers. In fact, all video and photo evidence was labeled fake by the army. But like the saying, the truth cannot be hidden forever. Governor Sanwo-Olu would later slip during an interview that the Nigerian army was indeed present at the carnage.
It seems to me that there will be men in military uniform, which will be Nigerian army or something.
So you're saying that it was military officers who ordered peaceful protesters to be shot at Lekki?
Yeah, that's what
Lekki
the pictures,
tollgate.
yes. They were there. That's what the footage, that's what it shows.
This caused the Nigerian army also to admit it was at the scene, but confirmed it was at the order of the governor, which the governor had since denied. Also, the Nigerian army representative, Brigadier General Ahmed Taiwo, has given 2 testimonies before the ongoing Lagos State panel of the tribunal under oath. The Judicial Panel of Inquiry was established by the National Economic Council on October 15 to investigate complaints of police brutality and extrajudicial killings amidst the 2020 Endsars protest. During his testimony, he denied soldiers shot at protesters but admitted they were present at the scene for a peaceful talk with the protesters. According to him, only blank bullets were used and they did not fire at protesters but into the air. He also noted that the Lagos state government had asked them to mediate after looters and criminal gangs infiltrated the protest ground. Brigadier Taiwo ended his testimony by saying that the Nigerian army is unhappy Governor Sanwo-Olu denied inviting them. The question remains, who is lying and who is telling the truth? Did the CNN reports cause them to admit their half-truth and half-lie statements finally? Government response to CNN investigation. Well, the Federal Minister for Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, had described CNN investigations as fake news and misinformation while denying the Nigerian army used live bullets against protesters. He said he watched the report and described it as a poor piece of journalistic work by a reputable international news organization.
CNN, which touted its report as an exclusive investigative report, sadly relied on the same videos that have been circulating on social media without verification. This is very serious, and CNN should be sanctioned for that.
Stating that CNN should be sanctioned, Lai Mohammed blamed looters for the violence that broke out at the carnage scene. The minister further asserted that not a single family had reported the death of a relative during the massacre period. But the Chief Coroner of Lagos State has since issued a public call for all those who lost a family member between October 9 and 27 to come forward and provide evidence that could assist in the identification exercise. Is this a coincidence? Meanwhile, Lai Mohammed ended his statement by saying that federal government continues to be very satisfied with the role played by the security agencies, especially the military forces during the protest. CNN, on the other hand, has refused to be shut down by the utterances of Lai Mohammed. Responding to his statement, CNN has said that its reporting was carefully and meticulously researched and they stand by it. The international media organization also noted that before they published their investigative report, they reached out to the Nigerian police, army, and Lagos state government but were met with silence. According to them, a Lagos state spokesman refused to comment because of the ongoing investigation on the incident, and the Lagos state government said there would be no comment while a judicial tribunal was on the way. A Nigerian lawyer named Kenechukwu Okeke, who many believe works with the Nigerian government, has now threatened to file a lawsuit against CNN for interfering in the judicial decisions and problems of Nigeria. Earlier, the same lawyer was on the tail of popular Endsars promoters and even took to suing about 50 Endsars conveners, including members of Feminist Coalition, Mr. Macaroni, Aisha Yusufu, Pastor Sam Adeyemi, JJ Omojua, and many others. New evidence corroborating CNN reports, Nigerians' testimonies but debunking the lies told by the Lagos state government and Nigerian army came to life during the last judicial panel sitting on November 23, 2020. Finally, the Nigerian army admitted to using both live and blank bullets at the scene but maintained they did because hoodlums infiltrated the protest. Sadly, the CCTV footage obtained from the company managing the Lekki tollgate plaza showed that the protest ground was peaceful until the army showed up. It also showed that the Nigerian army started the fire and came in with about 7 trucks, debunking the statement earlier made by the military arm. The company managing the toll gate, LCC, has also now come under fire for lying in its previous statement. Recall that in the aftermath of the carnage, they said they did not remove the toll plaza CCTV camera as widely believed, and the CCTV mounted on the day of the sad incident stopped working at 8 p.m. CNN in their report also pointed out that the CCTV panned away when the army arrived before stopping completely, a sign that suggests it was tampered with. This is also not forgetting that LCC noted that the toll plaza was shut down at 4 p.m. But the footage played at the recent judicial panel sitting showed that the CCTV camera worked past 8 p.m. and was manually operated. Also, it showed that the light at the toll gate was not put off at the time they claimed to have been shut down, but was put off few minutes after the arrival of the soldiers over what appears to be a ploy to carry out the dastardly act. All these details strongly mean that LCC officials were around during the carnage and aided the Nigerian army operation. Many Nigerians have taken to applauding CNN for taking the bold step in investigating the Lekki tollgate massacre and presenting hard proof during its reports. On the other hand, LCC, the Nigerian army, and Lagos state government are being called to end the charge so justice will be served. Also, they have been called for an end to the ongoing prosecution of Nigerians as citizens already know the truth. As usual, Reno Omokri has equally asked the Nigerian government to apologize to him for wrongly accusing him of peddling fake news. Again, we are back to the million-dollar question: who ordered the Lekki shooting? Well, the answer is pretty straightforward now that new evidence has come to life from the comfort of CNN and in the last Lagos judicial panel sitting. Indeed, as reported, the Nigerian government and army are complicit in the crime. As pressure rises and the new evidence come to life, it's no secret that the Nigerian government has since abandoned piloting the affairs of the nation. Instead, it has been working tooth and nail to not only silence the youth but bury the truth of the tollgate massacre. Social media regulation is being discussed more intensely now than ever before. Also, youths are being arrested randomly and illegally to impose fear. A journalist who covered the Endsars protest wound up dead weeks ago. Modupe Odele's passport was seized and many others jailed for being linked with the Endsars protest. That's not all. Over 50 Endsars promoters' bank accounts has been frozen at the directive of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Despite Nigerians protesting against this unconstitutional act and even boycotting prominent banks that adhered to the CBN directive, nothing positive has been done so far. If CNN doctored their evidence and reports like the Minister of Information and Culture has asserted, then why is the government so entangled in the truth? So guys, do let us know in your comment section down below what you think about CNN investigative report on the Lekki tollgate massacre and how the Nigerian government is reacting to the report. Lastly, do you think justice is very near for the fallen heroes now that the Nigerian army has admitted to using live bullets at the scene and the Lekki tollgate CCTV evidence brought to life? Voice your opinion in the comment section down below. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and share. Don't forget to check out our channel for more interesting African stories and news we know you like. Subscribe to get notifications whenever we drop a new juicy video to keep you updated. Thanks for watching and see you on our next one.
Dead bodies. That's what we've seen from all the morgues. That's what we've seen going to hospitals. That's what we've seen, as records.